This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome to Energy Stew. This is Peter Roth, your host. And I'd like to ask you, how are your glutathione levels? Are you concerned? Do you take it for granted? Do you know anything about it? Well, let's find out some answers because I believe glutathione is super important for our health. And I have even looked at a new opportunity to strengthen our glutathione through a man who we are now going to be talking with, Joe Cassarino, who is a man dedicated. He's dedicated his life to travel around the country and inform people about this new way to enhance glutathione. Joe, welcome to Energy Stew.
Thank you, Peter. What a great introduction and a very powerful statement and question you presented because I'm going to explain some very deep information that most people do not think about and do not comprehend. Why would they? I didn't even know what glutathione was until I met Dr. Albert B. Crum several years ago. Who would know what glutathione is? The average person doesn't unless you're in the medical profession or maybe a scientist or studied biology. Glutathione is the most important part of the cell after the mitochondria, because what glutathione does, Peter, is it actually reduces the toxic overload. That's the purpose of glutathione, to take out the toxins that we as humans are exposed to. Animals are exposed to it too. If we could give them the ProImmune is the formula of the scientific breakthrough, but I'll get into that in a minute. But if we could give them more glutathione just like us, they would thrive. Now, what you may not know, Peter, maybe you do because you're a very smart man. Every living cell on planet Earth has glutathione within the cell. Glutathione, I'm going to give you a little backdrop. Glutathione was created in the single cell 3.6 billion years ago, or about when creation happened, and we had something called a single cell. If you remember basic schooling, elementary school, the single cell was not a living cell. It was just a cell. But there was no life. It wasn't living. It was just a cell. The single cell created the glutathione within the cell for the sole purpose of detoxifying the toxic overload of the universe in order that the cell could grow and evolve.
How did it know to do that?
Well, that's the miracle of nature and science, and I say God because God to me is part of the whole mixture. God is everything, in my opinion. But anyway, Dr. Albert B. Crum, who's 93 years old, he's a Harvard Medical School graduate from 1956. He's a scientist. He's a psychiatrist. He's an MD, a psychiatrist, and a scientist. And he researched for 10 years. It was an epiphany that came to him as a young man. He knew the importance of glutathione as a scientist, and he also knew there must be a way how he could figure out how our human cells create the glutathione within the cell. How does it do it? Nobody could ever figure it out. They sell us glutathione, like the great Dr. Jeff Barke, MD, Barke, Jeffrey or Jeff Barke, MD, Newport Beach, California. He has 300,000 followers on his Instagram. He's teaching on his social media what I'm telling you now about ProImmune to his audiences. Every month he does a special post trying to educate the audiences. He has a very large audience that you cannot take glutathione. It's not as effective as when you make it intracellularly yourself. This scientific breakthrough, something called ProImmune that Dr. Albert B. Crum discovered after 10 years of research, trial and error, figuring it out, going back to the drawing board, he unraveled the enigma to glutathione synthesis intracellular. He figured out the minute particle size of exactly how every human cell synthesizes its own glutathione within the cell. Then the NIH heard about it and they were so interested. They said, if this is true, this is a miracle of science. We're going to commit $88 million and we want this research to prove what you just assessed. And they did that. And they funded $88 million through 18 universities, and every one of them, through peer-reviewed research, confirmed ProImmune is more effective than any glutathione product on the market. Any molecule, doesn't matter if it's an IV drip, doesn't matter if it's a glutathione product, doesn't matter if it's liposomal glutathione. None of those can do what this does. They try to, but this is making the glutathione within the cell.
I guess what it is that this is not glutathione.
Yes.
This is the precursor for glutathione, because it's the only way that the cells will have glutathione in them. They have to make it themselves.
That is correct. So now when you take the precursors, which he figured out in the minute particle size and the precise ratio, that's why this is working to mitigate almost every chronic illness known to mankind, according to every doctor recommending this around the country, and pharmacies, because they dug deep. They took the time to listen to the experts, to read the science, to listen to me, to take the time to dig deep and listen. The ones that don't believe it, it can't be, not interested. No, we don't need it. We have glutathione products. No, we have NAC. I can't help them. Nobody could help them because they're not listening. This was proven by $88 million in 18 universities. This formula is so powerful. One research support study says this improves chronic kidney disease, CKD, unheard of, not a drug, Peter. This is not a drug. I can't make that claim. I can't get on your show and tell anyone this is going to treat, cure, or prevent anything, because this is not a drug. So I can't say that. What I can say is the research proves it. The doctors recommending it for years now have been witnessing miraculous recoveries. I'll give you another example. Dr. Edward Ted Fogarty, MD. Jimmy, are you here, Jimmy? Shipping department? Yes. Could I have the booklet right there, please?
By the way, we're audio, so
yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay.
No, I'm working out of my office, but my shipping department is the next bay over. Dr. Edward Ted Fogarty, MD, brought ProImmune into the Federal CARES Act as a COVID countermeasure. I don't know if you could read this. It's everybody. Could you read it at all?
No, but just
it's on my website.
The audience is only hearing this.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. It's on my website. Thank you for explaining it. It's on my website called thebestimmunesupport.com. On the bestimmunesupport.com website, they will see a statement by Dr. Edward Ted Fogarty that was approved by my FDA attorney, so we could say it legally. We can't say ProImmune will treat, cure, or prevent anything, because FDA will not permit us to say that, even if it does. But what we can say is Dr. Fogarty took this into the Federal CARES Act in the year 2020, before COVID vaccines came out, and said, gentlemen, I have the research under the $88 million university studies. Georgia State Virology Lab declared this as an antiviral to stop Zika, dengue, and HIV. Gentlemen, if it's going to stop those three viruses, guess what? It will stop every virus. They said, we agree with you.
So I never have to get a cold again.
No, you will not get the cold, the flu, the norovirus, or the RSV. You can't get it when you take 2 scoops of this minimum a day. And we have more research behind that for a phase 1 and 2 trial, proved the same thing successfully. But Dr. Fogarty took this information to the Federal CARES Act, and they said, oh, we agree with you. This will stop COVID, but we're not going to tell anyone, but we'll give you funding for a grant to get on the radio. And that's how we got on radio shows. And now I'm on 4 radio shows a week because Dr. Fogarty could no longer do it. He's too busy. I'm very busy myself, but I squeeze them in, even though I'm traveling around the country, educating physicians and pharmacies and onboarding ProImmune to all these people across the country, in addition to handling a shipping department, in addition to handling the Amazon and Walmart account they're my accounts. I'm the national distributor. Now we're bringing it to Germany and the UK. I'm a very busy man.
And it's not that expensive a product. It's $75 a can. And so 2 scoops a day go a long way, because the scooper is tiny. And
I get it wholesale now because I am the distributor, right? But before I got it wholesale, I was paying $75 a jar, one for me, one for my wife. We bought two every month. And one jar only lasts me a month because at my age, I take two a day. I'm 69 years old, so I take 2 scoops a day because that's the antiviral protocol according to the phase
No,
one.
but I thought the directions are to take 2 scoops a day.
Well, no, the back of the jar says 1 or 2 scoops.
Oh, so some people can take
Children don't
one.
need 2 scoops. You see, children 12, 13, 14,
One
they're
scoop will be enough.
yeah, 1 scoop for children. Adults is two.
Okay.
So two is the recommended because people my age, Peter, anybody over 40 or 50, they're so grossly depleted of glutathione that ProImmune restores their depleted glutathione levels. Anyway, so this is a COVID countermeasure. This is a all-natural antiviral. This is an all-natural statin approved in 37 countries to modulate cholesterol, triglycerides, and A1C. Another thing it does, veterans love ProImmune because it mitigates PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder,
Wow.
and TBI, that's called traumatic brain injury. And how does it do that? ProImmune is so effective. It's the master anti-inflammatory. It's the master detoxification because nothing on planet Earth is going to detoxify or take away the inflammation as much as when the cell, the human cell, can synthesize and replenish its own glutathione levels back to ample levels the way nature intended it to be. You see, Peter, what your audience doesn't know, their grandmothers and my grandmother and your grandmother never would have needed ProImmune. It probably never would have even been discovered. They wouldn't have needed it. There'd be no need to discover it. Everybody was making enough glutathione within their bodies to combat the toxins of the day. There were no toxins back in 1810 and,
Oh,
and
there
18.
were, but it's different.
Well,
kinds
not
of
like
toxins.
this. Excuse me. Not that there weren't any toxins, but there were no ubiquitous toxins. Peter, everything we eat, breathe, and drink today is toxic. We are so over
Yeah, we're a sick world.
we're a sick world, and it's the toxicity that causes something inside the cell. This is the cell, my hand. This is the ProImmune. This is the cell.
Well,
All
the audience
toxins-
can't see this.
Oh, okay. So all the toxins go inside the cell, and ProImmune is able to penetrate the cell membrane. The ingredients, the precursors of the same glutathione that's already in the cell, and the ProImmune precursor is now triggering the cell to replenish the glutathione levels to do what? To take out our ubiquitous toxic overload. And you already know this, that it is the toxicity that is causing the oxidative stress inside our cells. It's the oxidative stress that also causes reactive oxygen species within the cell. And if you don't take out the oxidative stress and the reactive oxygen species called ROS, you're in big trouble because now you're going to get all these chronic illnesses and all these cancers come from ROS, reactive oxygen species, Peter, is an imbalance of the electrons in the cell. Okay.
Well, what I want to ask, are there tests that doctors can make to know how what your cellular glutathione level is?
Yes, you go to your doctor and you ask them to test your glutathione levels, but it's not
No, but they
effective.
test the
I'm going
blood
to-
levels of glutathione. They
Thank
don't
you.
test
They test the
cellular.
bloodstream. That's correct. They test the bloodstream, and there's no really way of knowing. Let me just finish. They don't really know, Peter, because it's a false test, because most people take a glutathione product that they buy anywhere, in any supermarket or health food store sells a glutathione pill or product, and they do raise the glutathione levels in the bloodstream, but that does nothing to take out the oxidative stress, lower the reactive oxygen species, or mitigate the glyphosate, the heavy metals, or the microplastics directly inside the cell.
Right.
Okay.
But I
So
spoke to a
you can-
doctor the other day who provides glutathione IVs to people, and he said that he's excited that glutathione in the blood alone can help clean the blood because it's antiviral, all that stuff. So if you're taking glutathione for the blood, and that's the only way you can take it, even sublingually or whatever way, it's not going to get into the cells, but it will at least help clean your blood too, and a cleaner blood will help the cells. But the glutathione in the cell is what the powerhouse is.
Okay, so you are correct, and the doctor is correct. Your doctor friend is not wrong. Glutathione IVs or powder or pills that you can get from any company have some effect, but they're minor. That's the kicker. All the experts I work with, from the molecular biologist, Dr. Judy Mikovits, PhD, molecular biology and biochemistry, the leading one in the country, who used to work with Fauci, can't stand him because she knows how corrupt he is. And I could say that because I agree with her. This whole vaccine, COVID vaccine.
Yeah, we don't have to get into that. I
We
agree
don't have to get
with
into
you.
that, but Judy teaches, and Dr. Edward Ted Fogarty teaches, and the neuroscientist teaches that glutathione products and IV drips have some benefit by cleaning up the blood, like you just said. However, it's the comparison of taking a scooter or a Stingray. You know, the Corvette engine, the Chevy Stingray, the engine in the Corvette. What would you rather have, a Stingray to go cross country or a scooter? ProImmune, because it is the precursor of glutathione and it penetrates the cell membrane so effectively, exactly as nature and God designed it to be. The ProImmune then fast tracks the glutathione synthesis. So now every cell in the body, not just the bloodstream, the cells within the heart, the cells within the brain, work so effectively. I'm going to give you an example of how it works, Peter, before we wrap up the show. I don't know if we're running out of time.
No, we still have plenty of time.
Thank you. Dr. Edward Ted Fogarty, who brought this into the Federal CARES Act as a COVID countermeasure, he received a call about 2 months ago from Senator Kramer's wife. They live in North Dakota. Dr. Fogarty is from the Great Plains, and his wife and Dr. Fogarty live in the Midwest. And Senator Kramer's wife, because Dr. Fogarty is beloved throughout the whole Midwest, he introduced ProImmune to pharmacies and physicians out there long before me. And educated them. So they're all recommending it to patients and customers. And Senator's wife calls up Dr. Fogarty. Senator's having a stroke. What do I do? He said, leave him there for 5 minutes. You're right near Dakota Pharmacy. Run to Dakota Pharmacy in Bismarck. Pick up a can of ProImmune. They have 100 jars a month there. Joe sells them. They sell 100 jars a month at Dakota Pharmacy. So Ted knows that they have a lot of ProImmune. He says, grab a jar of ProImmune and give it to the senator every 3 days for the next 24 hours, 3 hours for the next 24 hours. Give the senator a scoop of ProImmune every 3 hours for the next 24 hours. So she started doing that. The ProImmune is so effective at reducing the inflammation in the cells of the brain. Same reason veterans take this for traumatic brain injury. On the neurological side, the NRF2 gene activation, I forgot to tell you, this formula does something that no glutathione product does. It also activates the NRF2 gene, and the NRF2 gene signaling goes to the part of the trauma in the brain from a stroke or a TBI, and the NRF2 gene is saying, traumatic event. Right now, we need to synthesize the glutathione right here, synthesize it here to stop the TBI or the stroke from occurring. And that's how he saved Senator Kramer. He also knew this worked because he saved patients from traumatic brain injury with ProImmune. Now, this is not a drug, remember, and Dr. Fogarty knows this, but Dr. Fogarty also knows that many great modalities that are not a drug work, Peter. You know what they are? Hyperbaric oxygen therapy. This does the same thing as hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Spirulina. If you take spirulina every day like I do with this, I take this and then I take a teaspoon of spirulina. Technically, I should live into my 90s in expert health. I'm already 70 next year. I'm running around like I'm 35. I'm already a step ahead of the average person because I eat healthy, I exercise, I watch my diet, I watch my carbs and my sugar intake. I take ProImmune, I take spirulina, I take coenzyme 10, I take something Dr. Judy Mikovits, the PhD molecular biologist, tells everybody when she gives conferences every couple of weeks around the country about ProImmune. She's teaching doctors, she's on tour teaching doctors, you must be recommending ProImmune to all your patients. And furthermore, recommend they take something else called Cardio Miracle. I put a link to the Cardio Miracle website on my website, thebestimmunesupport.com. I just ordered myself 6-month supply from Cardio Miracle. It didn't arrive yet, but I'll be taking that as well because Judy teaches at the scientific health conferences, doctors, that when you give your cells cells. When you give your cells the proper nutrition that they need through the cardio miracle and the ProImmune, she says the cells know what to do. Forget pharmaceuticals. You don't need them. Pharmaceuticals have so many toxic side effects, and most of them are synthetic, that they cause more side effect damage than they do.
I understand, and I'm very excited because I've started to take ProImmune, and I really feel like the promise of it. But I want to ask you, because what I do is I use a scooper, and it's a powder, and it tastes really nice. And you put the powder on your tongue, and it dissolves. But what about for children, for little children? If you're going to give them a scoop a day, can you put it in their drinks?
Yes, children. We have mothers, pregnant mothers taking it. We have, and the fetus gets it through the pregnant mother. Then when she's nursing, Dr. Fogarty says take the ProImmune when you're nursing again, because you're already so depleted in glutathione levels from the stress and the trauma of birth, and it will restore and it will build your immune system back up, and the baby will get it through the breast milk. And then we say give it to children, 1 scoop a day. But if the child is like 1 year old or 2 year old, you could even give half a scoop. There's no toxicity. You cannot toxify in ProImmune because the baby already has it. Every human being, every cell has glutathione in it already. We're just replenishing what's depleted from the toxins in the formula, the toxins in the baby food, the toxins in the air that the infant is
I
now
know, I
breathing.
understand that, but I'm just talking about applying it. So you
Yeah.
could take like a
So
scoop and
yes,
just put it in a drink that they're drinking, and that'll
no,
be
they put
fine.
it in. Yeah, they put in like the baby food, the formula. The form. They could put a little quarter of a scoop
Or
or
mix it with some
in the formula.
applesauce or
You mix it in the
something.
formula. You don't put it in the baby's mouth. No, no, no. You hit the nail on the head. You put it in something liquid like a formula
Yeah.
or an applesauce or a baby like when they're ready to eat, right? When the baby is ready to eat, they don't eat in the beginning. They just breastfeed or they get formula.
Yeah, but
But
this
then
tastes nice, so
it's semi-sweet. That's the
yeah.
glycine. Yeah, so infants take it, babies take it, but children, like anything from 2 years old up to 14 or 15, 1 scoop a day is all they need. They do not need two.
Oh, that's good because I have grandchildren and I
Oh,
want
and I
them
don't mean to
to take.
interrupt you, but I want to tell you, like I said, you cannot overtoxify. Like I said, you're already making this is the same glutathione that is inside every cell in every living being on planet Earth. Every animal, bird, fish, mammal, every tree, root, plant, leaf, every cell in living cell on Earth has glutathione. All we are doing is putting it back in to optimize immune support, cellular health, and lower inflammation
But
from
there
toxic.
must be an amount that you don't need to um, take because you've taken enough already. In other words,
Brilliant.
let's say 3 or 4, even 6 scoops a day. Why take 12 scoops or 20 scoops?
Wasting your time and your money. Okay, so great question. Sometimes I take 5 a day if I can because of my age and I want to get my cardiovascular. ProImmune mimics hyperbaric oxygen therapy, so I'm literally increasing the oxygen to the cells of my heart and my brain every time I take an extra scoop. So I'm trying to do 5 a day. That's getting about an hour's worth of HBOT, which is a very effective healing protocol. No virus, pathogen, or disease can live in a cell rich in oxygen. No one teaches you this. Mainstream medicine is not focusing on anything all natural. They're just pumping you full of drugs. But anyway, now listen to this carefully, Peter. If you yourself are taking 5 scoops a day because maybe you've got some of your own conditions going on and you want to take as much as me, and you took 6 one day instead of 5, the cells, your cells in your body will only synthesize as much glutathione is as needed to optimize your cellular level. It will modulate your glutathione levels within every cell of your body, including your brain, your liver, your kidney, your skin, your eyes, and it modulates it that if you took too much, that will only convert to a little extra energy. That's all it does. There's no downside
Good
to
to
it,
know.
no side effects with medications, 20 years on the market, 25,000 units sold in the last 6 months alone, not one adverse event or effect or complaint.
No, I'm excited about it. I'm taking it. I already ordered a bunch of cans, and and I just feel good doing it. I
I'd
feel
like to
like I'm
share
really
something, Peter.
helping myself.
I want to give a compliment and a thank you and a gratitude to someone called Ani Gittimer. Ani Gittimer owns Wilner Chemist, the biggest and largest pharmacy in New York City on Park
Yes,
Avenue.
they're famous.
They're famous on Park Avenue and 41st Street. And I
Right.
want to thank Wilner Chemist because Wilner Chemist, under the direction of the owner, Artie Gittimer, let me show you. Give me a minute.
Well, you can't show the
Oh, well, I
audience.
want to show you. He put this display case on the front counter of his
Oh, good for
pharmacy
him,
and the back counter, two
and good for
counters.
the customers.
He has 5,000 products in Wilner Chemist, and guess what? Only ProImmune is on the front counter in a display case like this. He's recommending it to every customer walking through the door. They're
I
getting
love it.
people in New York City healthy. Furthermore, Arnie took my banner ad that says we proudly recommend ProImmune. He says, Joe Cassarino, listen to me. On my website, wilner.com, WILLNER.com, I have an ad that I charge the big dietary supplement companies. I charge them $1,000 for that spot to advertise their product. I'm giving it to you for free because of what you're doing for humanity. You are educating so many people around the country, like you educated us about ProImmune, that I'm going to put your banner. I'm going to link your ProImmune information on that website. I'm going to link where they could buy it right from
That's
Wilner.com.
great, and a lot of our audience know how to shop at Wilner's. But
Well,
in the
Wilner is a
meantime,
great.
let's tell. No, but we're running out of time now,
Yeah,
so let's
sure.
tell the audience how they can, what they can do to get some.
Well, they could go to Wilner Chemist on Park Avenue and 41st Street. If they live local in the city, and say hello to all the floor managers. They're great people. And if not, they could order ProImmune on thebestimmunesupport.com. And all the science is on my website. Or they could visit my Instagram, which is called Best Immune Support. But again, the website is thebestimmunesupport.com. That's where all the science and the videos and the testimonials and information is on about ProImmune, and you could order it right there. And my shipping department ships it out the same day. And whatever the post office takes to get it to you, I don't know. It could be 3-4 days, but
right now we're getting at the end of the show, so people will place their orders and hopefully get it very quickly. And Joe Cassarino, I'm so grateful to talk with you and to allow our audience to know about what a wonderful new opportunity this is.
Peter, I speak on 4 radio shows a week, and a lot of my audience is 70 and 80 years old and up, and they can't use computers. So I like to give my cell number for any
Sure,
audience
please do.
member on chronic illness that's looking for relief. They could text me or call me. I do call everyone back. My cell number, if anybody wants to ask me questions, is 845-206-8104. I reside in Rhinebeck, New York, in the Hudson Valley, next to Dr. Albert B. Crum, who made the scientific breakthrough of ProImmune. He's 94 years old. He's genius. He's still working. He's still active. His brain is sharper than you and me put together. And I want to thank you, Peter, for sharing this good information, because too many people are suffering from chronic illnesses, and ProImmune, according to the doctors around the country, is improving every chronic illness. They can't believe it.
So let's go for it. So
Thank you.
Joe, thank you so much for being a guest on Energy Stew. It's so wonderful to talk with you.
Thank you, Peter. Pleasure.
And this is Peter Roth, your host of Energy Stew at prn.live. I can be reached at peter@heartriver, HEART river.org. I'd love to hear from you, and thanks so much for listening.